Shout out to everybody here. My name is Samuel James Price, and every single day I go over 3 amazing news topics that could basically shape the way the day goes and how our trades may be affected just by how the speculation of the masses can help move the markets. Again, show you the charts and I'll show you the news, but I do like to find out what's happening behind the scenes. Belgian crypto ads must warn of risks under new rules. The Financial Services and Market Authority will have to be notified of major ad campaigns as a survey reveals crypto investors are often trying to get rich quick. Crypto ads in Belgium must be accurate and warn investors of the risk under new laws announced by the country's financial regulator Monday. Well, that's the issue. Because of the 4-year cycle, a lot of people jump into cryptocurrency at the height of the cycle, and then they watch all their money go back down. They get very depressed, and they say, crypto is not for me. But they understood what Bitcoin is and the halving, and they actually, because that's why you have to deep dive Bitcoin, because if you don't deep dive Bitcoin, you don't understand the cycle. If you don't understand the cycle, you have no idea what's going on. Again, I am not a financial advisor, and nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice, but I do understand Bitcoin's cycle, and I can teach you about the halving, and I can teach you what happens with the cryptocurrency industry and why we ebb and flow every 4 years. Understanding this can change the playing field substantially, and that's why it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's you got to wait. If you get in at the top of the market, you got to wait 4 years. To me, 4 years isn't quick. It's a good amount of time, so anyone that's been in crypto a long time, BitBoy even says it took him 9 years to become a millionaire. So crypto isn't a get-rich scheme, and all the bigger people in crypto don't say that or don't tout that. It kind of has this aura because of the big pumps we've had and because of all the other stuff associated with it. But honestly, it takes you a long time to be successful at anything in life, and that's just the truth. To be a real success. If you made it that fast, you wouldn't be a success anyway, and you wouldn't respect it. Anything that you got to work so hard for, that you got to really just push and push and push, that's really what you want. That's what's worthy of a lifetime spent, just kind of hustling and grinding, right? Crypto.com listing drives Floki Eno value by 5%. Meme coins continue to reign over the market. While most of these assets started as jokes inspired by Dogecoin, some of them were gaining immense traction. Exchanges have been skeptical about onboarding these assets. However, Crypto.com got Floki and Velodrone. Deposits are now enabled on Crypto.com. And Velo is a coin we like to trade here on KuCoin. Likes to pump hard too. KuCoin. Crypto tax. Which countries have new rules? Portugal, the UK. Crypto used to be untaxed until the end of 22. Nonetheless, the country is still very friendly. Cryptocurrencies sold after being held for less than a year are subject to a 28% capital gains. The best part is the cryptocurrency held for beyond a year is exempt from capital gains. So you just want to hold it for a year or you'll pay 28%. Wow. That's interesting. Shout out to my people. Hong Kong has some new rules. And what are the tax-free countries? Back from several other countries where there's no tax. Switzerland, Singapore, Bermuda, and Dubai are some of the popular destinations for crypto traders to operate without paying capital gains taxes. I got to get myself a Bermuda address and right away. Puerto Rico is another popular, especially among Americans. If Americans seek Puerto Rican residency, they can benefit from paying 0% capital gains tax in exchange for paying Puerto Rico 4% of their income. Because of this, affluent Americans have flocked to the island in large numbers. I'll tell you what, man, when you start making big money and you start looking at the money, you realize, hey, you go to Puerto Rico and pay 0% capital gains tax? And if that's all your income, you know what I mean? They've been cracking down on that a little more, but also there's some things there too. You got to get an employee. You got to live there 6 months out of the year, 180 days. I went to Puerto Rico. It's a beautiful place. If you stay in like the gated communities, it's nice and it's not bad. But I mean, they have some weird stuff going on there too as well. So I don't know if I want to be there for 6 months straight just for the money. You know what I mean? Who knows? Bermuda sounds like a pretty cool place. This just makes no sense. European regulators rush to calm AT1 investors after Credit Suisse wipeout thought. 14 years ago, the Obama administration, or rather his Wall Street lackey Steve Ratner, turned the bankruptcy process on its head with Chapter 11 filing of General Motors, which steamrolled the bankruptcy liquidation waterfall by paying off the unfunded and unsecured pension plans of GM and Chrysler union workers at 40 cents on the dollar, while clamping down secured creditors, forcing them to accept 29 cents on the dollar in recovery. On Sunday, something similar happened with Credit Suisse, which much of the stock, Europe's $275 billion, additionally Tier 1 market, and some $17 billion in Credit Suisse AT1, a.k.a. contingent convertible bonds, were wiped out, even as equity holders received over $3 billion in consideration. See, it's like, not surprisingly, this morning, the entire universe of riskiest bonds of the Europe lenders, those in the AT1 tier, plunged after UBS agreed to buy the bank and an historic government-enforced deal aimed at containing a crisis of confidence that had started to spread across global financial markets. See, what you're going to have is bigger banks buying the smaller banks. They want to consolidate the banking. I've been going over this for 10 years, and someone told me about this 10 years ago. They said they're going to get rid of all the small local banks. They don't want you to have a local bank on the corner. They want to have a central bank, a world bank, and they want to have a CBDC put out by the World Bank. They want the whole world to be on one currency. They want to know everything you buy and sell, and they want you to have nothing and be happy, and you know that's what it is. That is the news for today, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on into the news, and let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.